Good morning, champions. This is Chuck Burns, and I'm going to talk a little bit about HomeBot this morning. But before I do much, I want to get HomeBot up here so we can be looking at it. Okay, that's better. So at any rate, after last Monday, we were talking about things that are happening in the marketplace, and I've always tried to come up with things that make me look a little unique. Set apart myself a little bit from the average agent in the street. And one of the things that I've come across here, courtesy of Jody at Fairway Mortgage, is this thing called HomeBot, and has a seller's report digest, they also call it, and a buyer's digest. And what they are just tools that are designed to help you help your clients as they navigate through either a sales transaction or a buyer's transaction. And so because I was so excited about it, I kind of got volunteered. Actually, I love this kind of stuff anyway. So I did volunteer to take a look, just to show you a little bit about the buyer's report. And hopefully you'll like it. And maybe you'll even want to use it in your business. One of the things I would like to explain is that HomeBot's not very expensive. In fact, for the first 25 clients you put in the system, it's free. And then you can put in 500, up to 500, and it's $25 a month. So for $300 a year, you can have a nice little tracking system that does proactive for $300. Not bad. So at any rate, there's a little bit of a process that it takes to actually get them here. You actually, if you have a bulk load, HomeBot will actually load them up for you. But it's pretty easy to add stuff. In fact, what you really do is you send your prospect, your client, a link and let them register themselves. It's just like easy. They have to have their email address and their name and address, or their name and phone number, and that's it. And then they get it, and then you get some information that says they have their report in place. So let's just kind of walk through the report here. Price point is what you're willing to pay. What your buyer is willing to pay. So remember, now I'm talking from the point of view of explaining to a buyer what they need to do. So once in a while, it might sound like it's for me, but it isn't. Okay, so change. We can change. This is, rather than this is a rudimentary calculation, but you can actually put in a combined income, monthly debt you pay, credit card payments, those kinds of things, cars, and what you'd be willing to put as a down payment, what kind of loan term you want, and 15 or 30. And it's actually going to come up and calculate a price point for you. And you can actually change that. You don't have to use that. There's the different, you can guess, you can pre-qualify. But that is something that we want to talk about. You actually can go in and through the facilities provided by Jody and Fairway Mortgage, they will do a pre-approval for you. And then it becomes part of this little system, and your client knows what it is that they're qualified for, and that's kind of pretty good information. At any rate, hopefully you'll end up with the same answer. Okay, we're going to explore. Was that a smile? We're not going to qualify right now, but you could. So market temperature, we know what that is. Now I've put in a couple of zip codes for this particular client, and 98, 97. These are all sellers markets. You can tell by the sellers market, buyers market. In the normal market time, where there would be a variety all over the zip code range in a fairly large metropolitan area like Seattle, this would be something that you'd look at, and it would give you some real choices in terms of whether you want to go into a market that you're going to have to compete with, or do you want to go in and have your buyer want to buy something in a market where they have a fair chance at looking at something and buying that particular piece of property. So buying timeline, 131 days in these two, 128. The square footage you can afford, that's calculated based upon that information we entered earlier. And then average price. Actually, this is the average square footage and the average selling price that comes out of this 657. What the application does is it takes this 657 and it sets a base 20% lower than that, and a ceiling 20% higher than that. And that's the range that it looks at in that particular zip code. You can actually explore all markets. You can view your favorites on the map. Get this out of the way. Favorite here would be, so this is the major neighborhoods in that zip code. Education Hill, North Redmond, Bear Creek, Southeast, Ames Lake, that kind of stuff. And then see what I'm doing here. So I'll click on Union Hill, Novelty Hill. This is the Redmond area. It comes down and it will tell you kind of a little chart over the last 3 or 4 months on what's happening on the price. So it's not just a static number there, giving an idea of whether prices are going up or coming down. There are 4 homes near your price point of $657 in this whole area here. Now think about that. Think about that for a second. Your buyer is sitting there sitting with some other agent or just poking around on the website itself. It looks at this and there's going to be 1,500 listings there, and 1,496 of them aren't in their range. So that's the kind of the high level advantage to having the buyer's report, is it really does a pretty good job of screening, and you're not looking at a bunch of stuff that what's the point? In that price range, almost 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,500 square feet in that area. Now, you can go to other areas in the country, you'd have a mansion for the price we're willing to pay here. This is what they're paying, $779,000. Price per square foot, $519, doesn't mean much to us. And the square footage that you can afford, if you're in that area, that's what you can afford. Can I afford more? This actually goes into then a different calculation. I don't want to get into it because they're, well, I can get into it if we have time. And it talks about how long it takes. It takes this many days, 3 days to pre-qualify and start house hunting. It takes 83 days to find and bid. Now, we all know that that's kind of a totally inflated because of the last couple of years here, but it's real for us. It may not be real for other areas. And then actually close in 45 days. I think it closes a little bit quicker than that around here, just simply because there's lots of high-priced homes sold, but but the volume has got to be down for those guys in terms of the number of transactions. Let's see, where can I move faster? It'll tell you where you can move faster. It'll come up here and it'll say, well, you can go 60 days, 78. So if this is what you want to do, it's going to go past what we said. I had a couple of zip codes in there, but it will suggest to you where you can go find a house quicker. Okay, so this is in your price range. And in this case, there are 2 homes in your price range. And since that's a Bellevue address, I'm surprised there's any in our price range. I'm not sure what they would look like. But you see, here's what this pricing looks like in that particular area. Okay, markets. Let's go back here. Something went wrong. Our team has been notified. Try reloading again, huh? Come on, reload. Good. See that? Look at that. That's nice stuff. Let's see, what else can we do here? 2 favorites. Huh. Oh, there we go. That's where I wanted to get the buying report. Okay, so I've kind of gone through these are the questions. That's what I wanted to point out, is that throughout this whole little report, these are questions. What areas should I be looking at? If they click that little button, it sends you a question. Is there any construction I should know about? If they click that button, it sends you the question. And then there's an omnibus question here. If they click, they can type in something, information. But the point is, it's not a call to action. It's a call because they need some action. So there you go. And then you can set a zip code. You can decide what you want to close on and you can put a date in here, calendar driven. think it's calendar driven. Maybe not. Oh, sure it is. It's right below here. Okay. So it'll shift. It'll be where you are today, how much further you have to go, 83, 45, 3. So it'll recalculate that. How do I shrink these timelines? These are questions that are pertinent to the topic, and that is how long is it going to take me to find my place? And then what price point can you avoid at current interest rates? How do I lock my maximum price point? Well, we all know what that is. That's talking to Jody and being able to firm up how much they can afford, what the down payment is, just lock everything down financially. Well, I think that's it. It's a nice little report. It's the kind of thing that you kind of have to dig around in order to understand how it works. I like to understand how these things work in a little more depth. I'm not sure why, because then I get bogged down in explaining it in too much detail. A lot of times people ask questions just to see if you know what you're talking about. Not that they really want to know how the thing works on the inside, but I've always been kind of a let's talk about the inside kind of a deal. Okay, any questions? Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, guys. Appreciate it.